Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Squadcast. From now on, I, Monte Cristo, will be your host. I'm joined by the usual suspects. Gentlemen, how are we doing today? Actually, wait. Before, there's the usual suspects plus one. Prodigy.
Yeah.
Prodigy's joined the squad. Prodigy, welcome. Everybody, if you guys don't know,
you.
Prodigy is the most recent seasonal winner. Right? It was the most recent one, right? I'm not losing my mind.
Yeah.
Going a little bit crazy. Sorry, guys. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing today? How's everybody feeling? What have you guys been up to?
I'm doing pretty well, kind of the usual, just like ladder, trying to figure out what's up. It seems like the meta has started to settle a little bit. It's still very wide, but like it feels like the pockets we're hitting in the meta aren't quite as volatile, and just playing a bunch of toxic decks. This is the episode where we all reveal we're toxic gamers.
Yep.
Our honest deck of choice is like Poppy Bard, right? Like.
Hey, Monty's not that much of a degen.
Dude, that guy was playing Ari Bard.
I've been playing exclusively Ari Bard and Infinite and Bard Poppy. Like, I don't know.
Infinite's a fun deck.
Infinite's a different type of toxic, though. It's its own
Infinite's
category.
special. Like, there were like 2 games I played today where I almost lost because I played 15 hordes. Like, I couldn't play more hordes. So,
I've done that.
Wait, does it actually cap?
Yeah, caps.
Yeah,
It's like
ever since
15
the,
unique cards or something.
Yeah, because there was the Cloud Drinker.
Yep.
Is the card?
Yeah.
There was an Infinite
No,
with
not
that.
the Cloud Drinker. It was Zephyr's
Cloud Drinker's
Sage,
the
right?
other.
Yeah,
Cloud
yeah,
Drinker's
Zephyr's Sage.
like bad pod, right?
Oh,
Yeah, ever since there was like a
Whichever one
Zephyr Sage Infinite where you could just play it forever and just hold your opponent hostage, so they just capped that you can only play 15 of the same card in a turn.
Thank you.
Okay, before we go too far into like the Infinite talk, do you want to talk a bit about the deck? Because I feel like we all know about Infinite or Eggs, Akshan, PZ, whatever you want to call it, because like we're all like in the Master Sphere, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone else will. So
it's
Santa,
an obscure
I know it's
deck.
like your favorite deck right now. So do you want to like break down the general concept of it?
But yeah, so basically, you just play Akshan, you flip him, and all you're doing until you flip his horde is stalling the game with like Sands of Time and Quicksand and all that garbage. And then you get the horde, so you get the draw 2, and reduce the cost of everything in your hand, or everything for the rest of the turn by 1. You counterfeit copies on that, so you shuffle more of that into your deck, and then you just keep playing that and keep drawing it until everything you play is free. And you just cycle your deck for the entire turn until whatever your pick of actually winning the game is. There's you can use Echo Chrono Breaks, where you just copy those and just keep chrono breaking and rallying constantly. You can use Thrumming Swarm, where you just make an entire board of 8/4 overwhelms and just attack. There's the Called Shot, Ruinous Path, a lot of these
You're missing the
like
best
just
way to do it. Insider
The
knowledge,
best-
where you draw through their entire deck and you mill your opponent.
you can
I
you
played.
can run the mill version.
I played that like the last 2 weeks before the last seasonals. Like I played nothing but that deck. Or sorry, after seasonals, like between seasonals and the start of the new season, I played nothing but the mill version. This is the better version. Play Thrumming Swarm. It's way faster.
Yeah,
It's less annoying.
please don't play mill.
Do not.
Like
It's
it's
good.
like you already kind of feel bad for your opponent as you're just like playing 40 cards in
Yeah.
a turn. Don't mill their deck. Just play overwhelms.
Mill is funny to play once.
Yeah, just
played it,
just
like, 20
actually
times.
kill them.
Yeah. I did force.
But yeah, the combo pops off usually on like turn 7, 8, and you can just
Yeah.
win the game on the spot. It's
It's surprising how early you can combo off.
yeah,
It's
weirdly consistent and extremely powerful.
Sands of Time.
This is all because of Sands of Time.
Yeah.
This is all
Yeah,
right.
because of Sands of Time.
entirely
right. Yeah.
because of
Sands of Time is gonna be
Time.
nerfed because of this deck and not Thralls.
Definitely.
Like it'll be both.
They don't like
I don't know
Infinite.
that one.
They don't care about Thralls. They don't like Infinite.
Yeah.
They do hate infinites.
They do
If
really.
it's
hate-
fleeting, will that kill the deck? Because you can't store it.
If it's fleeting, it might actually kill the deck.
It'll be
Um,
yeah.
a lot of the time you're like Sands of Timing on their attack, but you don't want to flip the horde until it's your turn. So if you have to drop the advance on their attack, it makes your combo a lot weirder because you have to now find Thrumming Swarms and Called Shot into Parallel Convergence. Yeah, is the name of the card.
It also
Plus, you've already spent the 6 mana for the.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It makes your mana on the turn, like, if you try to combo up on your turn and have to play Sands of Time on the turn you're going off, you now have less mana to deal with. So, like, oftentimes you need to play Archivist to help, like, churn through and start the combo off, and not having that extra, like, bit of mana to work with to play your Archivist when it's not fully discounted can really hurt your combo.
Yeah, like, you can't do the combo from 0 mana. So you need to make sure you have, I guess, the least amount you could have is 1 mana for a single counterfeit copies, but that's
really
You gotta get lucky.
That's just gambling.
The general play pattern you want to go for with a combo is like a lot of times you do 1 counterfeit, right? So you ideally do your first font of power. Hopefully you hit a second one and can do the second one, and then you kind of are putting yourself in a position where you really want to play the Archivist, so you can start hitting extra fonts of powers while there's still like plenty in your deck, and Archivist is still seeing a lot of cards. So once you hit that point of 3, it becomes a lot easier to play out your entire deck and keep cycling, and even counterfeit the horde again to hit.
You start using Station Archivists and Careful Preps to just like find extra copies of the horde, and just it's a fun combo.
You cycle new landmarks sometimes if you have to, with like Station Archivists and Iterative Improvement. You ever just churn through those just to get a new landmark countdown because you ran out, and that's
chain your Archivist, hit another horde, you just
it's great.
It's just really weird how it feels like when you're playing it. It feels like you're almost always on the verge of it all falling apart, and it rarely falls apart if you do it right.
It just like never does. It's crazy. It's just like you're always drawing 2 and you're always hitting what you want because your whole deck is just like predicts more draws, and it's just like there's so few cards that like even can brick your hand.
I think the deck caps out at 4 mana, if that.
Besides,
Sands of Time's the most expensive.
Thrumming Sands.
Thrumming's not 7 mana. Thrumming is free.
0.
It is.
Okay,
if you're playing that for anything other than 0, you're playing the deck wrong.
Like every once in a while you'll like drop the combo and your Thrumming Storm's like 1 mana, but like you just flood your board with whatever mana you have left, and you still have like a board of like 4 overwhelms.
There are actually weird times where I don't have the hand to combo off, and so I pop the board, shuffle it in, and then combo off the following turn.
Yeah.
There's like weird situations where you can combo off not the turn that you're intending to combo off.
No, there's a lot of really fun like nuances to the deck. Like there's a reason it has a low win rate.
Yeah.
It's true.
But once it kind of clicks, it's so much fun. Maybe not for your opponent.
Gives me an excuse to
maybe don't grind it on ladder.
Okay, here's the thing though, like
that damn loser beam.
Okay.
Really
I'm not saying like the deck is healthy on ladder, but when the infinite player plays like 3 or 4 hordes, the game is pretty much over. If they're playing right, they're almost never dropping the combo, and you're just dead. So you can just save yourself the 5 or 10 minutes. But it probably isn't something that should exist for long. It's pretty interesting, and I like having a lot of different like strategies in the game. And this is like a strategy we've never really had to play before, really, since it's never been like as powerful as this. But it probably isn't something that we can realistically have in the game for a long time.
I think Sands of Time's going to get nerfed, and this deck's going to disappear into obscurity. Or if at any point aggro becomes real again, this deck dies on ladder, at least.
Aggro is like really dead right now. It's really
aggro's terrible right now. It's the only reason this deck's playable.
The only
like if you were running into aggro every other game, those are just like almost instant losses. They're so hard.
Yeah.
And aggro's gone because of Demacia, like, right?
Yeah.
That's like the only
Yeah.
reason the aggro's gone.
That and they got pretty prematurely nerfed with
Also true.
Annie Jin release, and then like
Oh, right.
Annie Jin wasn't that good. So like
I mean, it's
there just
an
kind of
okay
isn't
deck.
another deck.
It
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
suffers a lot into the Demacia stuff, which is a lot of the meta, and it also suffers a lot into like the TF stuff, which is another big chunk of the meta now, right? Because TF red card surprisingly deals with their entire board. And what's a stun when they can just trade a stun back or fading memories and take a free stun and a 4/4 blocker? Like, who cares?
Okay, but like, can we take a second and talk about how like the only reason aggro is unplayable into Demacia is because of Broadwing? Like,
Oh yeah.
maybe that card is not okay.
Oh, what
I
is
mean,
it?
there's like all the other challengers though too.
What's the
They're not as good though.
the
Like,
two-
they're
No,
not
Broadwing is the
two-for-one-ing,
best card in that deck.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
except like Laurent, but Laurent feels bad to play in like a
Right.
lot of other matchups, right? So there's like a trade off, but like Broadwing is always insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've played like a million games of Pantheon, and the only reason that deck ever beats aggro is it's just Broadwing and also Gifts from Beyond, but
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
mostly
The
Broadwing.
secret tech.
What would you
Secret-
change?
No, hey, it's not so secret anymore. Everyone figured it out.
Like, what would you even change on Broadwing though to like nerf it? Because if it's like
You,
0-2,
like,
it's
can't.
right. It's
Yeah.
like 0-2, it's useless. You have to like give it the tracker treatment where you have to like play another unit to give it challenger.
That would
only
actually that'd be a good way to do it. I'd be down with that.
You do other things where like this turn only or something, like on the turn you
Yeah,
play
as
it.
challenger. Yeah,
fair.
like on the turn you play it.
Yeah, there's like very few ways to nerf that card without killing it. It's like it's so hard to nerf things in card games, especially low cost things.
Or
It's
even like
just,
round
like-
start. That could be another option, right? Like you play it and it's like round start, give me challenger. So like you play it and it's not a challenger
Yeah, you
unit,
just like can't challenge on that turn.
you know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I gain challenger when you play another unit. Only you have
Yeah,
to play
it's
like
another
this
unit to
turn.
give a challenger every turn.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
There's always another unit coming down.
Yeah.
It's Demacia.
It's Demacia. There's always another unit.
I love how that deck, like the optimal number of spells is like 8 or 9. Like everyone was playing all these spells, and I'm like, these just break your hand. Like just cut them all and just play units.
Yeah, you just need
Play
units,
more
man.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spells can't go face. Not in Demacia. Why are we playing those?
Exactly. It's like you need like 2 Sharpsights to not die to elusives, and then you're good.
Sharpsight, poopy now. Does nothing since the nerf. That one point of attack
What?
mattered so much.
Not when you're playing it on
No.
Broadwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharpsight's still a good card. And Sharpsight needed that nerf.
It
I
did.
think it's fine right now.
It did.
Yeah, I think it's just a solid card.
It's okay. Like Prodigy
Yeah,
said,
that
there's reason
effect
to
it
play
has
less
is-
than 3. You know? Whereas before it was always a slam 3.
Yeah, but that's
I
kind of
mean,
nice.
That feels good. That seems good. That it's like now maybe I'll only play 2 or something as opposed to like a 3 auto include. Like not having a 3 auto include is I feel like good for the card. Like just for the health of the game in general. Not having cards in specific regions that you always put in 3 of is probably better.
True.
Yeah.
And the fact that like Sharpsight still makes the cut like almost all the time, the card's in a good spot I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
No, it's solid.
I mean, the twin nerf did very similar things for that card.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think just like what it comes down to, and it's like something we've kind of gotten to at this point over time and like as the game's been out longer, is like you can't have that strong combat tricks in a game built around like onboard combat and interaction. Because like even when
Yeah.
it isn't like based onboard combat, like backline champions are abusing these things and giving them too much stats too efficiently, especially with like other upsides, is not okay either.
True.
And I think it's just like an issue. And like here's an interesting thing, and I'd be interested on your guys' take. Like I don't think Control Chant is like an okay card. Like it shouldn't get nerfed because like mid-range Freljord XD, you know? But like Troll Chant is not an okay card. Like there's been so many
Troll
times
Chant's
I've been
busted.
playing against timelines, and it's like if they have like a Troll Chant like at any point, or like if they decided to not cut that card from their deck for some reason, like I just like can't win the game. It's just like I go into the tempo black hole.
Yeah.
It-
I mean,
it's pretty
It's
insane.
really good.
Regions are supposed to
Yeah.
have like a couple power cards. I feel like though, right? Because like Vandal has Pokey Stick, right? Like
Yeah.
like Troll Chance is supposed to be like one of the reasons you want to play Freljord, and like it's the only reason to play like any combat Freljord.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
there's like no other reason to play anything Freljord mid range.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we should
I don't
nerf
think
it
I
now,
nerf
Yeah.
but I'm saying like I don't think it's a card that is going to be this way forever.
Can we
That's
put
fair.
Like once mid-range Freljord actually gets support and there's like stuff to do in there, and like Troll Chant has like a real home, I don't know if Troll Chant will stay the same it is, because Troll Chant's very powerful. It just
Oh,
doesn't have a home. at
It's
the
in the
moment.
same pool as like old Sharpsight and old Twin. It's just like Freljord's not the best region at the moment. Whereas like
Yeah.
Demacia right now can greatly use a 2/2 Sharpsight. Ione can still abuse Twin right now, so that's fair, I think.
Can we put Flock on the chopping block as well? I don't like that card.
Please.
One
Flock
mana deal
should
4
have been-
does too
Flock
much.
should have been 3 damage
Yeah.
for like since release.
Yeah.
1 mana 4 damage with like the easiest condition I've ever seen.
So
Is
maybe
so
down to
powerful.
3. The issue with Flock is like the thing with like Troll Chant is like if you nerf Troll Chant, there's still a sort of like, you know, freeze, reduced power archetype that exists in Freljord, Health Plus and all that. Flock like almost single-handedly runs the control Noxus archetype. So there's like a really fine line to how strong or how much weaker you can make Flock without really hurting Swain decks, any sort of Noxus control. I think.
Swain decks.
I don't think that's true with
Yeah, I know.
Disintegrate anymore. Yeah.
You don't think it's true anymore?
Not with Disintegrate.
That's also true. Disintegrate kind of.
I mean, like Flock definitely carries those decks, and like you only play it in control Noxus.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're not like slamming Flock into like any other.
Oh,
Noxus
you
deck.
discovered it off of Contrologist, but that's
I mean,
about it.
There's also like the Elise Viego, like Red Viego runs 3-0 Flock, and that's like not
really
a
control.
control
Okay.
deck.
Sure.
Like
But it's
It's-
like,
because Flock is just that strong.
well, you don't have other good options, right? Like, you're not playing Noxus because you want Flock. You're in Noxus Shadow
Well,
Isles,
Legion
and it's
Deserter,
your
yeah.
most efficient removal. You're in Noxus because you want Deserter, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, let's be honest.
Sure.
It just happens to be the best thing. And
But like after Deserter,
Flock
Flock
is-
is one of your better cards.
Yeah, Flock's amazing.
Yeah,
that
like,
card's incredible.
Flock's a good card, but like,
I mean, the other
I don't
option
know.
we're
Flock
looking at
to
is
me
what
is a
business.
card that has such fundamental costs and like restraints with it that it isn't so much of a problem card, because like every Flock deck forever just 2-for-1s itself into oblivion, and a lot of decks have gotten a lot better at punishing that now. Demacia still sucks
That's
against
true.
it, but like imagine drawing cards in Demacia, and also you're a stat region against Flock, so like nice try, kiddo, but like outside of that, a lot of decks have gotten a lot better at dealing with like Flock and Noxus removal.
Also,
And even with Disintegrate in the meta right now, I don't think Flock decks are very strong, and this should be like the strongest they've been in a very long time, in my opinion. Like having access to Disintegrate.
also just like you play any Flock deck and just like sit there with Flock, Disintegrate, and Scorch in your hand, and then we can talk again.
That's true.
Like, yeah, I think that is like
Getting the flooded hand hurts.
yeah, like that basically is what happens with this. Like this whole 2-for-1 thing, you have to have like 2 cards from different card pools. Like it's not like one pool. Like if we think about like Annie Ezreal, there's like, you know, 6-ish Flock, Scorch, Disintegrate cards, and then like another like maybe 10-ish ping cards, maybe more. But that's not just a pool of 16 cards you need 2 from. You need 1 from the one pool and 1 from the other pool. And that's like a fundamental restriction on how those decks can play.
Fair points. Fair points.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Like
I
annoyingly sold.
like I get that Flock's annoying, and like I get that like I specifically enjoy these sorts of Flock decks, but like maybe 3 is good, but like it's a very fine line between like ruining almost all of these Noxus control decks unless they get a whole bunch more support, or
Burn
making
it
them
down.
like nah, come on, Raven Bloom decks Flock, it's amazing.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
you're right.
okay,
Raven
here's
Bloom
the
right
thing.
back up
Great.
to 4.
Noxus
You play-
got Raven Bloom
Yeah.
and Disintegrate and Annie this
Yeah.
patch, and Flock decks still suck. We cannot
Yeah,
nerf
exactly.
that card. We cannot.
Annie Ezreal's pretty solid, isn't it? Like it ended up.
Like a solid 51, yeah?
I mean, yeah, Ace took it to like rank 1 or like
That's
whatever,
true.
right?
Yeah. But that's
Yeah,
specifically because it beats the Prodigy deck, right? It beats your like Bannerman Medley, your Poppy Board,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, right? Like that's why. And here's the thing about that deck, like there was a version of like Bard Demacia before like the deck Prodigy built, right? It was Galio Demacia. And the interesting thing about Galio Demacia compared to Poppy Demacia in the matchup table is Galio Demacia beats Flock decks, but it loses to Thralls.
Right.
So it creates like Flock decks don't even like beat all of Demacia anymore. It's like I don't know. Like I don't think we can
It's
nerf
weird.
Flock. Yeah.
It's weird indeed. Yeah, the meta's
I
ended
can't-
up in this awkward spot, right? We have Thralls kind of sitting over here, and then we have these Viego decks sitting over there, and then there's the Bard decks. It's just kind of everything around. And it's all kind of doing its own thing, and
I mean,
nothing
is
is really out of line.
you could almost argue that everything's tier 2.
Yeah.
You could like
Yeah, it's
I
like
the top
is like-
decks have a really low win rate compared to other metas, it feels.
right.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
probably the most balanced meta we've ever had, like win rate wise. Like just full stop.
Yeah, I would say like everything's like high tier 2, and then like all like the other decks are like tier 3. But like I don't think there's like a tier 1 deck that like you have to be beating right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like
I mean, Thralls is up.
it's a
there for
weird
sure.
like-
meta to try and ladder in because like not having that like rank like that like tier 0 boogeyman
Right.
makes like that normally warps the meta, but like everyone's kind of just playing everything.
At the same
So,
time,
like-
certain decks feel kind of polarized. Like Thralls definitely feels like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
win or lose, like depending on the matchup, like almost the start. Like if you run into Prodigy's
Aye.
deck, it's a loss. And it's strange.
You say Thralls is win or lose, but I swear it beats like most things. It like
Yeah, it
wins,
can.
and then there's like a handful of things it loses to, and then like pretty often ladder is mostly the things it loses to because people are tired of getting like dunked on by Thralls players.
And I mean,
Well-
I've even lost the Demacia games against like Hanzo where it's like I'm like developing it's like Ravine, Avalanche, and I'm like, well, I don't have a board anymore, you know, and you're just like, like,
Guess he's just better.
I'm just like okay.
It happens.
yeah.
So,
Thralls can like win its losing matchups now, and like Sands of Time is such an insane card
Is
for
Thralls-
doing that.
Is Thralls forced to play Avalanche again?
I think it's a one of.
I don't think
Thralls
it was ever
should-
correct to
I-
cut
I
all
think-
your avalanches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you should be on at least one avalanche. I think being on
And-
0 is crazy.
And the thing about good Thralls players is if you go Ravine, and like I rally, you just like play like a what is it, advanced preparation?
Imagine.
Like you
Imagine
imagine, right? You
possibilities.
just like you just accelerate all your landmarks and then blow my board anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the way to play it.
Hey,
Shut up!
Hello, Shadow.
He's here.
You're stealing.
All right.
I will say
You
though
hear
that
me?
I think the meta has started to like stabilize and centralize a bit more since you hit rank 1 Prodigy and you released that Bannerman deck, because it kind of felt like we finally had a lot better of a deck than Alawi to like put Thralls in its place and give Flock decks a room to like exist.
Yeah.
And I think since then things have stabilized a bit more, but there's definitely like pockets and it's super wide and it's like
Yeah.
hard to figure out exactly what you should ladder
I mean,
with.
the
like,
stats on
every
that deck
time
were,
it's
were
out.
tier 1 for the first couple days. Like, I tracked it pretty closely. It was, like, around 56, 57% win rate when I, like, dropped it. Like, I was at 68%, and, like, everyone else was, like, still in this, like, the high 50s. So, like, the deck was, like, definitely better than all the other lists because, like, they weren't running Bannerman. Like, if you're going to play Galio, you can even run
Yeah.
Bannerman. Like, that card is just... I don't know. That card's insane. Like, it's not broken, but for the cost of playing Bard, right? Because Bard is basically an allegiance like region, right?
Yeah.
So like, for what Bard is already providing, like Bannerman just like fits in perfectly. So
Yeah,
Alright,
because
there
this isn't
was-
a Bard deck where you want Esmus, right? Like Bard Ari, you just want Bird and you just want Bard, right?
I mean, like you get value out of Esmus, but like you get way more value out of Bannerman, right? And like Esmus is like
Yeah.
Demacia mirrors, it's useless. It's like +1/+1 sometimes, you know, maybe +2/+2 right with the chime. So
not great versus Thralls either.
Yeah,
right?
and that's the thing. It's
Those are,
way
like,
too slow against Thralls.
That's a big matchup you want to be beating.
Exactly.
Right?
So.
Yeah.
Like Bannerman on 4 into a Ravine is like, yeah, good one, buddy.
So.
All right, there was on the last Squadcast, there was a comment, which I thought was an interesting topic to kind of like touch on in each of these, which is just like look at and talk about what we think are the top 3 decks right now.
Okay.
And I feel like normally that's easier to do than in this meta.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like picking 3, but I was kind of like curious what you guys would choose.
Thralls, Bannerman. I don't know, I feel like it's those 2 and then X, right? Maybe Nami. I would say Nami, but like I don't know.
Like
It's like in a good placing.
I think the Aphelios.
Aphelios is still really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Aphelios pile is really good. Either of them. Just like
yeah.
the Aphelios Zoe or the Aphelios Fizz.
It's like winning light is too strong of a card.
Oh yeah, is cracked.
Yeah. Why did I get a Yaya that doesn't get denied, gives me overwhelm, barely has a condition, and is a unit? That was really cool.
We're gonna see
I don't know why
triple
they
winning
did
light.
that.
Like at some point, we're gonna see a lineup that's just 3x winning light. You know.
Oh.
Like,
For
No.
sure.
I've thought
Yes.
about that.
Don't
Yes,
say
it's
it.
gonna run
I've already been
Daybreak.
working
Don't
on
say
it.
it.
Like it's.
Oh. What's your third deck, Leona?
It's Leona time.
Leona?
Yeah, it's Daybreak, man.
It's Leona Jin, trust.
Oh, that
No. It's not Leona
No.
Jin.
It's
Don't
Leona
do it.
Jin.
It's so bad. Jin does like nothing but hurt you in that deck.
I think
It's your turn 4 play if you miss Leona, dude.
If you miss Leona,
He
you
still
lose.
stuns, come
You're
on.
playing Daybreak.
still stuns Copium.
All of your fast speed spells in Targon.
Oh, there we go. We're just gonna buff Jin and give him Daybreak.
Yep, that's the best way.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Alright, top 3. Ari Bard.
You think that's a top 3 deck?
I do.
Mixed feelings
Thralls.
about that.
I don't trust that deck.
The
I think it's
numbers
really
look
good.
good.
I know, but I don't trust it.
Same.
I don't know what deck number 3 is. Maybe a Viego.
Literally Monty beat me today, but I was playing Infinite, so like I was already doomed. I queued into Ari Bard and that was an L.
Oh, that's the excuse. You just queue into every deck with Infinite, and you can complain about all of it. It's like, oh, let's play Infinite. It wasn't a real matchup.
Dude, it's like a 36% win
It
rate
doesn't
deck,
count.
40% win rate deck. What am I
Yeah,
supposed
it's
to do?
terrible.
Yeah.
I kept
Don't
playing
play
it and I kept
or
gaining
you're-
LP. I don't know.
How could you?
I do think Ari Bard is very good though, if we want to talk about that. So it's not the most powerful deck. It definitely has issues, but Homecoming is really good right now. Like,
Yeah.
Thralls, even it's pretty decent against like Poppy. It hits a lot of things. Viego, like Flock decks don't have a great time dealing with Ionia. Like, it just is very well positioned, and the Ari package plays pretty nicely with Bard because of like what Prodigy was saying, where it's pretty much like an allegiance package, and Ionia, like Ari Ionia, is nearly an allegiance deck in and of itself, so that just works out. And the chimes just allow you to do really nice things. It allows you to transition into like elusive beatdown really well. If you IRL chimes on Ari, the game becomes like super unplayable. And while you obviously want to be like picking up droplets, like picking up Bird and Esmus gets really funny really quickly.
Yep. Bouncing Bird is like really, really funny in the early game. If you can get a couple chimes guaranteed on something like an Ari or even an Esmus, just to have like some additional early elusive damage, it adds up really, really quickly with that deck.
Alright. I'll have to like properly mess around with that deck.
I'm a little
I had
surprised.
a 10-10 Ari earlier.
Oh, damn. Did you hit face
It
with
was
it?
like turn 7. Yeah. It was actually, I played it as a 9-9, and then Esmus buffed it, and Esmus was like a 2-4, and they were on 12. And I had a droplet to the side chilling, so they died that turn. Very cool.
I'm gonna pull up some AR stats because I'm curious.
Yeah.
It's at 55. It's
That's pretty
pretty
respectable.
good.
Oh, it's
yeah,
very
Bitter
good
hit
right now.
rank 1 with it last night, and I think Kanan hit, I don't remember if it was rank 1, but like he posted a screenshot of him at like the top of APAC ladder playing that. So people have been putting up results with it.
It's just.
And I think it finally got refined like pretty well recently.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
is
high
that
with,
it?
It's a huge play rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they added in the Mourned
Yeah,
recently,
56%
which does a
win
lot.
rate.
The more
They added what, sorry?
More.
They added in the Mourned, and they cut out like Highwaymen
Wow.
and the Maker and Elder, which were like one-ofs that people were messing with.
I don't
And
know
the
why
Mourned is
people-
just like
People running the
beats
Maker was
base to race
funny.
and
I'm
helps
surprised
with
they cut
lottery,
Highwaymen.
You know,
More
That's
elusive
good.
cancer.
No, Highwayman was always
It's
like,
not great
it's just
with
like a
what
cute
Ari's
thing.
trying to do.
Yeah, it just
yeah,
gets
like
shit.
I
It's
don't
not
think it's
Challenger.
actually good.
It
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
It's better with
Hey,
Zed.
If
right?
Highwayman had Challenger,
Then it would have to be 3 mana or something.
True.
oh, that'd be so fun. That like actually might like if Highwayman had Challenger, hand buff Ionia might actually be real.
I mean, what? The equivalent costs 4 mana in Demacia, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
1 health as well.
Yeah, they just switched the attack and health around, tacked on 2 mana
Yeah,
and
the-
Challenger, and called it a day. You know, it's a good card. Well, it's a good
Yeah,
card
it's
on
a good
Bard.
card in
decks,
this
yeah, it's very
archetype.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, no
So-
surprise. Scouts is up there because the only people still playing Scouts are amazing at that deck.
There's
Scouts,
So-
is, I'm not playing it.
Have we finally come around to the Bard is OP train? Like, is that where we are?
I-
Do you think Bard's
I
a
don't think he's
problem?
OP. I just like literally from release, I was like, this card's going to be good because all it does is give free stats, and free stats are good, and people are just gonna play it in like whatever mid-range garbage they can, and it's just like the only problem with Bard is it's like inherent randomness. So like I wouldn't say it's overpowered because a lot of the time Bard actually does nothing and it's just his package giving chimes. But then you have like you queue into like Bard Demacia and they play a 4/3 Fleet Feather tracker on one and you're just like, oh, I guess that can happen too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah.
fun, isn't it?
For one
Yeah,
of the
losing
players,
the
yeah.
game on turn 1. Yeah.
Yeah, for one of the players, that's a great time. Yeah, I don't think he's like crazy overpowered or anything. I just think he's like honestly really like boring design for a card game like this.
That's what I said day one.
I mean,
Yeah,
I said
like
the
he's
moment he
obviously
was
good. He's
phrasing.
free stats, but he's just boring.
like, I think the thing is, like, he's good as a free stats unit, and all the decks that try to make him and his package more exciting are just worse decks. Like,
Oh yeah,
TF, like Jinx decks, anything with Meduli, these are all just like worse Bard decks, and they're way more interesting to play, but they're just worse by quite a
Hey,
few points.
The Jinx deck is holding a solid 52% win rate.
and,
I
like,
will take
good
credit
for
for
that.
that one.
It's a little bit worse though. I mean, I think it's more
Yeah,
fun to like.
it's like they're like across the board worse
Yeah.
than just playing units on curve.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
And
like
it's just like
all like the
it's
deck
fine.
trend decks are just so much more fun to play. Or you
Yeah.
just play Demacia and vomit out big stats because that's what Demacia loves, you know.
that's
What
why
if
like
you
the
did
only
both?
Demacia deck I've liked in recent time is
What if you
Pantheon.
played?
At least you get to go tall
Wait,
and
how
have
do you do
keywords.
You
How do
play
you
Ari
go-
Bard. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
drop your
true.
entire deck with Droplet and you play big stats. Come on.
It's true.
But,
All right,
like,
I'm sold.
It's kind of the wrong type of draw where like I'm gonna draw and also give my unit -7/-7.
No, but
It
like,
happens.
just if you're a good player,
Uh.
you don't buff the Droplet.
That's
if you're a good
that's
player.
a good
no.
point.
If a good
Yeah.
player buffs the droplet exactly as much as he needs to, because there's times where you're against Mystic Shot or
True.
like P&Z matchups, and you're like, shit, I could really use a 3/3 droplet right now.
That is actually
Oh,
one thing. I'm
God.
surprised it's high as it is, because I imagine people are still like misplaying their homecomings against Mystic Shot decks. So I'm surprised it's like this high when you want to like recall something.
Yeah, it's a good deck.
Like people are probably still taking greedy homecomings, and it's apparently working.
Yeah. Deck's good. Dude, I played like 6 games of it and I think I won all of them. Like, deck's good.
Yeah, that'll probably be the next thing I mess around with. And then if I actually want to climb, I'll probably just play Aphelios Fizz.
Yeah.
Aphelios Fizz? It's Fizz Riven, don't you know?
Yeah.
Nah, Fizz Riven's so much more boring.
Is it?
And it's just like I think Fizz Riven's worse. I think it just has like they have different matchup tables, but I think
Aphelios Fizz?
They have pretty similar matchup tables, except for like Thralls and
Yeah, Winding Light, you know?
I think
There's
it's
Yeah.
a handful of different matchups. Like, Aphelios does do a lot of different things than Riven, if we're, like, being completely honest, right?
yeah.
I mean, Riven plays the Fae package now, so a little less different things.
Yeah,
Than
That's
before.
true.
It's like a lot closer than you'd think. The
I
Riven
mean,
deck
I've
just
played
does.
both of the decks.
Yeah, I've
been
also
like
played both,
staring
but
at
yeah.
Like-
stats for like the past couple days for articles.
Have you
and stuff.
played both incarnations of Fizz Riven? Because, like...
Yeah.
I've like actually pretty much only played the Fae Fizz
Right.
Riven.
Okay.
I barely played it
Uh,
before.
They
It used to
definitely
be a pure combo deck, and now it's a Fae
Yeah.
Swarm and combo deck. And
Yeah.
it's better because Faes are good.
they definitely do different things. Like, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but
Faes are very good.
the Aphelios package does its own entire Aphelios thing, and like that could completely take over games on its own. But their matchup tables are surprisingly similar when looking at the stats.
That is surprising,
anyways.
actually.
It's like
I mean-
there's a couple different tables. It's like Thralls is like very different. Raven Fizz has a very very good matchup in
Yes.
the stats. It's like 60%
free.
almost. And I forget what the other matchup difference was. Maybe it was Viego was slightly better for one deck and not the other.
Depending on what Viego.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember now, but yeah, outside of that, because they're just playing out with the same phase swarm stuff now, right, through the early games. So
Yeah.
they're gonna do similar things for the most part.
Yeah, Face Worm garbage is good, huh?
Riven Fizz kind of has to race aggro, whereas Aphelios Fizz wants to just get to a Severum turn.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah,
Riven
but,
Fizz
like-
can race aggro pretty well, honestly.
It's true.
Yeah, I
Like,
will say I
yeah.
am definitely just an Aphelios simp, so
Well, then
like
why not?
I want
Why Aphelios
like why isn't Failed
Fizz?
Temple back?
Why Aphelios Fizz over Aphelios PNZ? Or would that just...
That's true. I could play. I think they're both like
Stats is a 6-point difference in favor of
I-
Aphelios PNZ.
Yeah, I think Aphelios PNZ is better, but like I think there's enough reasons to play Aphelios Fizz over like Fizz Riven. Like I would personally be on Fizz Riven here, but like I think you can justify it because like at the end of the day, Aphelios, like what Aphelios and the Targon package provides is like very different in terms of clock and pace than like what Noxus provides, and that can make a few matchups feel very different. Like for example, like I feel a lot better playing like Aphelios Fizz against like a Bard Demacia type deck than I would like Fizz Riven. Because like I feel a bit better about like trying to like throw out value and like using Aphelios to grind out board and buy space and like winding lighting later, as opposed to I have to just try and go over these guys with like blades and papercraft or try and like outswarm them with phase early because I don't have value to keep up with like big stats later. Whereas like in the other version, it's like, oh, you play an immensely like illegal chimed up challenger, I'll gravitate that. Like, you know,
yeah, they are all good. So like
Yeah.
honestly, take your
they're,
pick.
they're all good decks. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I think they're both justifiable and they're pretty different, even though they have blended to look a lot more similar recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be honest, if I were to, like... I would just pick the Riven version because I just put more time into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a lot of time on Aphelios, so it's just like more comfortable.
I just think the Riven version's a little bit better on ladder right now. Also, kill him.
Oh.
I like killing
But I
him.
love my little moon
Yeah.
boy. Kill him.
Yeah.
I've been playing like 40 straight games of Infinite.
Kill him.
Just kill him, man. Hey, I mean, like, I usually have like turn 7 lethal.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know
Yo.
why my game stats say it's taking 20 minutes.
I've got a slower deck for you if you want.
Oh god, no. Please, no.
I built Karma Shellfolk, and it has no win condition in those regions whatsoever.
That's fine, you don't need one.
You can
in
find
Karma
one.
Shellfolk.
You can
Yeah,
generate
you just,
one,
yeah,
right?
You just
Yeah, I
take
know.
a win condition.
Yeah.
I played one game against Machin, made it into his video for the day, and it was like a 20-minute game that I lost, but it was the best thing ever.
Amazing. I don't get put in Majin videos anymore. I just keep winning. I'll
I have no idea if I have been.
run into him and I'll be like, oh man, I'm gonna be in a video, and then it's a ridiculous game every time, but I end up winning. I'm like, damn, I kind of wish I lost so that way that could go in the video. 'Cause it was nice.
He can put an L in his
He puts
videos.
them on.
Yeah.
He does once in
Yeah.
a while. I think it's good too.
You need to call out Majin. Tell him he needs to put your games in his YouTube video. The people need the content.
I kind of just did, didn't I?
Yeah, but yeah, true. But like add him on Twitter or something. We need
Oh,
more
okay.
Twitter drama, dude. Like
Twitter
it's so stale this week after last week.
Oh, it's
Good. we
No,
don't.
no, no, no.
We don't
need to
need
go back
more
there.
of that. Everyone can just go complain about Bard. That's fine.
True. I mean, let's be honest. It's gonna be eggs complaints this week.
That's much more
I don't-
preferable. I love that.
I don't think enough people will play it. I don't think it's gonna be like popular enough.
We just need to like inflate the win rate enough so that people do, and that'll be a success.
They will soon.
I don't want that because that mirror is garbage.
I have yet to play
Like-
Mirror.
Yeah.
I've played one mirror. It made it to turn 4 because I had flipped Akshan on 4 and they didn't have theirs yet, so they just surrendered. And it just was just like, this is great. I feel like I earned this.
10-head play.
Dodge
Yeah,
roll.
I drew my champion and he didn't. So
I could just imagine games where it's like turn 6 and like you personally don't feel super ready to combo off, but they started comboing off, so you need to do it back to them so that you have a chance. Otherwise, you lose.
Honestly,
you,
like
you just both play a board of 8 for overwhelms and you're just staring each other down. Oh, that's beautiful, actually.
honestly, the eggs mirror sounds not as bad or painful as the darkness mirror. I'll be honest with you guys.
Like it definitely feels like faster because like if you simply don't draw auction and you're like clearly behind, you can just surrender knowing you will lose. You don't have to like stick in the
Yeah.
game for like 20 turns being like, but what if I draw Vagar?
And
Oh,
also,
if I
like,
draw
you don't
Fizz?
really interact with your opponent's combo. So, like, when they go off, you kind of just be like, alright, my turn yet?
Just
No.
imagine like high level eggs mirrors where you can't play your Clockwork Curator because they can iterative improvement it and they can beat you to it.
oh god, we're going deep.
Oh boy.
But if they iterative it, they lose a trigger, so maybe you could.
Shotox, what's
Well,
the
It
mirror
depends,
do?
maybe.
it depends how far. There's a lot of...
Yeah.
How do you
High
crack
level
the
eggs
infinite
mirror.
mirror?
I can't wait till we
God.
start teching in Naturalist
We're
with
gonna
the mirror.
Right?
We're just gonna put aftershocks. It's gonna be great.
Is it,
Yeah.
is it Aftershock?
Complete-
Is that the answer?
Well, it's Tellstones.
No, because if you put
Tellstones, yeah.
Tellstones.
if you put, I
Yeah,
guess
Tellstones.
it would have to be Tellstones, right? So you can progress day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That
can
doesn't
target
break your
2
combo.
of your units.
Yeah, wait a
with,
second.
Hex tech.
Wait, doesn't that like only proc once? Like way back when like Akshan Silver would run Conservative Strike, it only proc
yeah,
once.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
So like it weirdly only procs once. You literally target
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, actually, Tellstones
But-
would
but
like
ignore that.
if
Tellstones-
mirrors became common,
Tellstones would be
Tellstones
the
would
tech
probably
card.
be yeah. Because it's just like if you put anything in the deck, you're just breaking your combo at this point. Like it's pretty much solved. You can't
Yeah.
mess around with it too much.
Yeah.
Though even that 8 mana draw is a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Do be a little bit
Yeah.
sketchy.
No, the real mirror breaker is playing Puffcat Peddler.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Honestly,
Wait,
okay, the
That
scariest
could make
thing.
that could make the mill condition not as painful. You just slap a Puffcat Peddler in your deck,
It's still gonna be pretty painful. It's still.
That's
Oh, but that'd be so fun just one time.
huh.
It would be.
Okay, real talk though, the scary matchup is that I run into Deep a few times, and they drop Maokai, and they put you on such a clock to beat them before they flip Maokai, because you can't kill their Maokai at all.
No, it's fine as long as you.
That's why we
if you
start
feel you
playing
can't beat them, just-
Shurima
you have to hold up.
Tellstones.
You have to hold up counterfeit copies.
Yeah, you just hold up copies as long as they don't obliterate your swarm. Then your deck just becomes 0 mana, draw 2, and swarm.
True.
And then you just win.
Yeah, just high roll like the 4 out of 20 some.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I actually
What's the
I haven't
problem?
faced Deep a single time, so
Yeah.
I'm currently
It's like,
getting
it's not
combo.
that bad, because you can still race them, but like, when you just see Maokai, like, 19 out of 25 is like, guess I'm comboing off this turn.
yeah, guess so.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of like really suspect turns where it's like I have 1 counterfeit copies and
Yeah.
like 1 predict and 3 mana, so let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That deck is a lot of fun though.
It's
fun.
so
Oh
fun.
man, I
It's
can't
pretty
believe
fun.
This is,
Nobody play it, please.
It won't last, unfortunately. It can't. It
Like,
just can't.
luckily this will never be a good deck. Riot will never allow us to be a good deck, and that's a great thing.
Oh
for the
yeah, no,
game.
it shouldn't be.
Wait,
Like
Such
the
a good
fact
thing
that
for the
it's
game.
good right now is insane.
yeah.
Like,
But
it
is
was
a
an
good deck
accident.
right now.
It's a good deck.
It's still
very
technically
good.
under the radar as a good deck, though, because
Yeah,
like
but
we
it's
think it's good,
really
Yeah.
strong.
and people who play it are like they're at 43% or whatever still. So like, yeah.
Good. Just keep the stats down there. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Keep him below 50.
Well, no, I'm helping. I've played like 6 games, and all the games I lost, it's not because the deck's bad, it's because I'm bad.
Yeah, every loss is an I'm bad loss with that deck. It definitely feels that way. Except for the games where
Oh.
your landmark just gets fucked. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
so good when you check AR stats and your name's in the best players, and it's just like, yeah,
I'm
yeah, I
the-
did that.
I'm the problem. Good.
That's really the only reason you want to be in Master.
So,
It's actually the top 3 are just me, Tux, and Loser B.
Oh god.
I said this is the episode where we come out as toxic gaming.
Oh
Ashley.
no!
I was gonna say, speaking of like rewarding moments, like checking AR like that, do you guys remember the Just Reach Master Twitter account? They used to tweet
Yeah.
out like
Yeah, I
the top
do.
LP earners of the day and like all that stuff. What happened to that? I missed that shit. That was hype.
Start it up, man. Make
Oh,
a
they
bot.
have to-
Shotox
Okay,
can do
go.
it, right?
Yeah.
I don't
You
I don't
have
know
to-
what your skill set is.
Probably.
Wait, this deck has dropped to 36 with a 1% play rate. Oh my god.
What has?
This deck,
Wait, which
I thought
deck?
it was 43. I'm looking at it now. It says 36.
Hell yeah. That's great.
But-
Keep it down there.
It's the 28th most played deck with a 1% play rate, which is crazy high for this sort of deck.
That's because it's so fun. Like when the combo goes
Oh
off,
my
it's actually
God.
so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I've only been roped like properly twice, so
That's not
it's
bad.
not it's not that much of an issue.
People have respect for this deck. People don't rope you that much.
I think it's fair. Like I actually don't have a problem with infinites as long as they have a win con.
Yeah.
Like if you're winning with that deck, it's fine.
This one's actually way less toxic than the Ionia one.
Yeah. Like
Like-
it's the only
Mhm.
one I've been willing to play on ladder.
It's less toxic
Like,
than the mill one.
Yeah, like I've never played any of the other, like the Ionia one or like any of the other ones on ladder because it's just like this is not, like even if I win, this is gonna take 40 minutes and it's not fun.
Is the
For
only
anyone
one where
involved.
you keep bouncing your stuff so you can level your landmark infinitely because you bounce infinitely, or is
Yeah.
that something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's that one, yeah.
Oh
Yep,
god.
yep.
Why would
Yeah,
you
that
play
one's
one?
very tough.
Oh, it's horrible.
Sounds awful.
So bad.
It's like fun to do exactly one time, and then you're just like, I don't want to do this ever again.
It's more consistent though, right, Shotox? The Ionia one?
Well,
Yeah. So compared to PNZ, it's more consistent. The reason PNZ is a lot better now is because we're in like a meta where a lot of people are attacking in landmark removal,
Yeah.
and the PNZ one isn't as affected by that compared to the Ionia one.
I really enjoy how we just came full circle to talk about Infinite some more.
Can't
It's the
stop
way it
talking
should
about
be.
it. It's the hot topic. I understand
can,
that
like-
it makes some people upset, and I get why. But
Oh,
like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let it happen for a patch. It's fine.
I think this is the only infinite deck that I've been like okay with, like outside, because like it just like it does win. The infinite turn doesn't actually take that long. Like if you're
That's generous.
no, but like if you like know how to run the infinite turn, like
I
and
play
they're
it
not roping
quickly.
you.
It still takes 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, but like that's not that
The
bad.
Ionian one legitimately
Not
would
that
take
bad.
like 10 minutes.
That's because you're
plus.
comparing it to Ionia, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why.
but yeah,
That's why
compared,
it's not that
compared
bad.
to all the other infinites that took like legitimately 15 minutes to kill you or more.
Yeah. No,
Like
it's okay.
it's not like like it's okay.
There's progress happening. You see things moving. It's not like you're
Yeah.
just sitting there forever falling asleep. There's actually things going on. You see a flow. There's
I
a
do
chance
think-
you might stop something. It's okay.
Like, it is better that, like, all your combo turns are, like, filled with, like, burst or focus spells instead of, like, units, which pass initiative back.
Yeah, the only time you're like regularly passing initiative is when you're playing your finisher with Swarm, and it's just like
Yeah, Swarm
at that
or
point-
Archivist, right? That's it.
yeah, and like at that point, if you're dropping swarms, they either are surrendering or letting you punch them, which is funnier.
Honestly, the worst I've felt is playing the Insider Knowledge combo against Shurima, where optimal play, you have to play them one by one so they can't random negation you if they still have the mana. And, like, that's the right thing to do, and it takes so much longer. And it feels so bad.
They should just dip
They
below
should
right
tap under.
mitigation mana.
No, when
Just
I'm
tap
playing
under.
against these decks, I tap under so they can do
Yeah.
their thing.
I don't have it. Just fucking
Just-
do your thing.
Tap under, auto pass, and just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
It's okay. The most fun version is always Bilgewater. So if you ever want to have,
What is
really
this
fun-
Bilgewater one?
Wait, you're
I
not a
remember
Noxus
No.
enjoyer?
It's Noxus is good, but it's not as fun. You know, Avatar of the Tides isn't like a guaranteed win con, right?
Yeah,
You never know what you'll
Oh my god, no.
this.
That's.
You guys wouldn't get it.
Oh
my God.
Okay, okay.
This
Yeah,
is
you're
a
not real
exploit.
toxic.
All right, guys, that's today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. But no, before we do wrap it up, because we are coming up on an hour or so right about now. Do you guys have anything else that you want to touch on for today? Anything you've been playing on ladder? Any like tips or tricks that you've come up with recently? You know what I learned? I learned that you can put a unit, an elusive unit, on defense, and you can use the switch spells like Syncopation or Stand United. And
Oh.
if both your units are in the attack field or the defense field, it'll block the elusive unit now. Before it used to kick it back to bench, right?
Oh,
It used to get
Yeah.
both of them back to bench.
Yeah,
yeah.
it'll
Because they're, like,
stay.
they're not declared yet or something.
It'll stay.
Nice.
Huh.
So
That's-
that's a hot tip. I
That's
mean,
actually
with,
kind of
wow.
huge.
with Ionia Telestones being around, it's actually
Huh.
kind of you can block elusive units with non-elusive units now. More counterplay has been added to the game. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's.
Did you put both units on? Did you put both units to block, or was one of them challenged?
Well, I tried it
I
with
wonder if
both.
that's a
I tried it
difference.
with both. Somebody told me it was with
Okay.
it was with challenge, but it's been consistent. I've done it like 3 or 4 times now.
So
It's-
it's just drag both of them into blocks and then swap them, and then you can move them around however you want.
Well, I don't.
Or you can
I
move-
haven't tried moving the elusive one. So I
yeah.
I imagine if you pull the one back, you can't put it back up.
yeah.
But like
Oh,
the
yeah.
elusive
Yeah,
one,
probably not.
Yeah.
the other one you swap for is probably fine. You can move that wherever. I imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wonder if that's intentional or not.
I don't know, but it's how it's working.
Huh.
It's alright. I'm excited for the patch
Yeah.
next week.
Oh yeah.
That
I
is
guess
next
we didn't
week,
talk
right?
about that
Yeah.
at all. Because
That's
we
my
touched on that a
question,
little bit.
actually. What do you guys think's getting hit? Like, Sands of Time for sure, right? But what else?
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned keywords, which is Pantheon Victor.
Oh.
Yeah, I have Ruben's tweet up, which is buffs to landmark removal.
So like, would that count as one of the nerfs or buffs?
It might.
I think it's a nerf for
I
sure,
wouldn't be
but
surprised if they
would that
countered
count?
it.
Because he
Like, they said
he said
40.
what 40 card changes or 40
it's
changes?
40 plus individual card changes.
I mean,
there's the meta deck.
Let's
Okay.
remember.
So that would be
System
something else.
changes, which means that copies are counting as played for karma and all that.
Let's
And
just
then
remember
changes
the-
to generatable keywords, but I don't actually know.
I'm
Like, I hope we can't generate negative keywords.
I'm assuming it
probably
means
not
no
it.
more scout.
I mean, I hope so.
I
That
think
sounds
it's
funny.
either they're gonna pull it or wait it.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
there's
drop
either pools-
Victor and play Ephemeral.
Like I've seen suggestions that have like it's a strict ordering for Pantheon and Victor. It's like you get this keyword and this one, this one. That seems too restrictive. I think you either like have
Yeah.
rules where like
Yeah.
that's like or some sort of weighting method. So like you get certain keywords a whole lot less than you used to.
The keyword is always
Yeah,
pulled
it
from
could
these
be.
5. The
Like
second
in a
keyword's always
pool,
pulled
yeah.
from these
That'd be
5.
interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I think they wouldn't want to completely
Yeah.
kill it because like as a like not competitive player playing Pantheon and running like getting these super high roll is fun. The problem is it happens too often. Like having that
Yeah,
sometimes happen is probably still fine.
Yeah, the pool thing makes sense because they can't just straight out say, "Oh,
Yeah.
no scout" or "No
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
elusive
Probably not.
allowed."
Because like
That's just like a bit too confusing.
And
I guess keywords are already organized in like pools, right? Like they're all color coded.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do like something like one blue, one yellow,
Also, I don't want to like
something
crazy
like that.
defend Pantheon because I also think he's busted. But the reason that happens so consistently is because he already drops with Faded and Overwhelm.
Mhm.
So like
It's a smaller
yeah.
pool. Yeah.
yeah, so like him hitting
Yeah,
like
yeah.
6 keywords, he's usually gonna hit good ones.
And here's the other thing about it. Like, I think that champs like Pantheon and Victor, once they get a lot of keywords, it's fine for them to have these incredibly messed up keywords because that means Victor's been on the field for several turns, right?
Yeah, you
It
work
means
toward it.
Yeah.
Pantheon has been in hand for several turns, in the deck for several turns, and you've been triggering Faded like regularly,
Yeah.
right? Like getting this payoff
Mhm.
isn't bad. The issue is when I die on turn 6 because my opponent went elusive scout spell shield.
Yep.
Or I die on turn 7 in a game I was winning because the Pantheon goes elusive scout lifesteal and I can't kill them anymore and then they kill me, right? Like that's the issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just give them negative keywords. Yeah.
Yeah, so give all of them
No,
a
no,
femoral.
no.
I've
I like pool. That's
Yeah, just imagine like Panth dropping with like Scout and like Challenger and like Ephemeral.
Immovable.
Ephemeral's too much. We're gonna add a new keyword which is anti-ephemeral. So you have to roll. If you roll ephemeral, you also have to roll the like anti-keyword for it, so they cancel out.
Why don't
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
balance.
Clemson
Yeah.
Runeterra.
you just drop Pantheon, you roll can't attack or block,
yeah.
and then you pass turn.
Profit.
No, you can still play.
No, then you
Cataclysm.
win with Cataclysm.
You still
true.
play. You still Cataclysm and rally off the scout.
Cataclysm.
It's fine.
What else did he say? He also said buffs to landmark removal, which I assume will just be sunk cost buffs. I don't know.
Oh.
It's probably
I don't know what
all
else
the
he's
lesser
touching.
played ones. You know,
Like sunk cost to 7.
Ural contraption.
I think you can buff all of the landmark destruction.
You can
like,
buff
removal
all landmark
realistically
removal
without-
except Scorch.
Ionia, PZ, and Noxus. I don't think you can really touch.
Yeah, I wouldn't buff
Mhm.
Scorch. I wouldn't buff Aftershock.
You could make Aftershock
Or
4
Homecoming.
4 damage.
Yeah, Homecoming. There's nothing you can do with.
Yeah, but the other 7, I think you can touch. Like it's cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd.
Oh
buff
no, you
Crumble
probably
just
should
because
hit it
it's
that
on.
stairs.
If that stairs,
I-
The stairs is fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
the
I'd
other
hit-
6.
You also couldn't
Crum-
buff it because of the archetype it's in with the 8+. Like you can't buff it mana wise, and there's like really no point to buffing the numbers either. At
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
The only way you'd buff it is making it a one-sided wipe, like a one-sided landmark wipe.
I
but
think
like
it's
that doesn't even
it's
do
fine
anything.
as is.
Yeah.
It's like not the
Buff
best
peak.
card, but like for the archetype, it's good as is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be whatever, and then functional adjustments to disintegrate, probably to make the
Tough and
Barrier
barrier.
tough.
super dumb interaction with barrier.
Actually, here's the
Not-
question though: are they going to specifically reword disintegrate, or are they going to change across the board how like Stargrounds and plunder triggers against Lissandra work?
Yeah, so like they can either
Like-
change the wording on disintegrate and make it something like
You have to do a one
if
damage.
this unit loses health,
or like,
not takes damage.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like you can word it more in line with like how disintegrate's supposed to work thematically. Rather than do a full rules change
What?
on everything that takes damage in the game.
Yeah. Monty, what are you smiling about?
It's gonna be a classic Riot spaghetti code moment where they go, "Yeah, we're doing a whole rules overhaul," and we're
Everything
fixing
breaks.
everything, and then it's just all gonna break.
Broken.
All right, let's start disintegrating nexuses. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Speaking
yeah.
You know, I mean, we could stress defense the Nexus. Why can't we
yeah.
disintegrate it?
Disintegrated. That's a good point.
This will be a
true.
good time.
Are you
Yeah, I'm
guys ready
excited
for
to
the
see-
turn 2 lethals disintegrate Blade's Edge?
Oh.
I am. I definitely am. Yeah, I'm really excited for the patch, though. I think Jace Heimer would probably be in a really good spot after that, because once things start getting duplicated, double 6
Jace
drop
Hammer's a
turrets,
good.
it's already in a really good spot. So
Yeah,
solid.
Jace Hammer's a good deck right now.
yeah. There's a couple decks that I think are going to be quite strong after the patch. I think Lux Jace is also still like pretty decent at the moment. It's just kind of lying there, hiding beneath the surface. A lot of good stuff.
Lux
Yeah.
Jace will be good when it can beat a tier 1 deck.
Honestly,
That's
like-
Lux Jace is fine, but like it just beats everything that's tier 2 and below and cannot win a game against anything that's tier 1.
Yeah, I mean that happens. That happens with some decks.
it should beat. It beats Demacia now at least, right? It's always beaten.
Yeah, true.
Smaller
It beats
Demacia.
the tier 1 small Demacia decks, right? But like outside
And that's
of that,
it. Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
all. Yep. I'm like looking at its stats. It literally loses to Thralls, Aribard, Red Viego, Sundisk, Fizz Riven, and Aphelios Zoe.
I
But it
just
beats
hope-
every other deck.
Yeah,
I
but
hope that
loses to all the ones being played.
I
That
hope that
matter,
if it's
yeah.
good, I hope that if it's good, that Unyielding Spirit is like a mainstay in the deck as like a 1 or 2 of, because that's the
I
funniest card
think
ever in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Unyielding
when you hit
Spirit's
it off
lit.
Eris.
No, people keep cutting it as a main deck. We're like,
It's so
Because it's
strong.
fun.
Run
it's
it,
so
run it
funny
as a
it's
one
main
of.
deck.
That's
It's
not a
funny
meme.
one-of.
It's
Unyielding
It's
Spirit's
powerful.
good.
it wins games, that's for sure.
So
It
like,
does win games.
actually, why would you run these 1-of cards now though when like Ferris exists?
It's true. It's
That's
true.
a little bit true, honestly.
It's true. Just
Literally
roll it off
just
of
make it
Pharaohs.
if you
Speaking
need
of
it.
which, is Pharaohs
Just
getting
make
nerfed?
it.
And how? How is
Um,
he getting nerfed?
No.
If Pharaohs was to get nerfed, it'd just be a health nerf. They'd just
Just two
Conchology
Just a
him.
ones.
Conchologist?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Conch him.
Yeah.
but like, I don't know that he needs a nerf.
Any other hot nerfs?
Yeah. He's our man.
Any
I
other
don't
hot
want
nerfs?
to
like
say.
he hits-
I don't want to say my nerf because I don't want to will it into existence.
I
have
feel
a
that.
couple that I think would happen. Oh, I have
Yeah.
one nerf that I want to happen, and might be a hot take. I think phase. The only nerf they should do to phase is they should remove +1/+1 from phase sprouts. That's my base take. Everyone
That
can
would
hate
help
me
a
for
lot.
it.
That would help a lot.
Okay.
That's actually the biggest problem. Is like the +1/+1 is so fucked up. Like you can let them have lantern and shit.
I mean, Lantern needs a nerf, but
Lantern feels like it needs to be touched. Like, you can even do like
you're
3/2
probably
Lantern.
right, card gamer, but I think Lantern
Like
needs a nerf.
I'm okay with good cards, and I like lantern as a good card. I think
No,
it's
I,
like
I like that face.
temple direction, but like balanced enough because you have to play phase, and like there aren't that many good phase.
Yeah,
There's so
Yeah.
many good phase.
Like
That's why like
when
Phase
you're-
Sprout like never
yeah.
pulls a bad Fey.
When you're discovering from Phase Sprout, there's no bad pulls.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
You're discovering from
okay,
Phase.
but like here's the thing, right?
manifest.
How many of the good phase
My
route
bad.
pulls are good because they have +1/+1? I've taken so many cards
Yeah.
off of that, and
Yeah,
they're fucking like. It doesn't feel good to make Grandfather Fay when you're playing a goddamn 1/2. Okay.
True.
Like
You're
you're
right,
taking
yeah.
a 0/2 picks now, like I think it actually does a lot. Like it might need to get nerfed further later, but I think starting off it's actually like fair enough. to
honestly,
do that.
yeah. If you
Okay.
like removed Phase Sprout from that deck, it's suddenly a lot fairer. So
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. I don't even know what like hot nerfs. Like there's like the obvious Sands of Time nerf.
Deserter should probably only get +1/+1.
Yeah, that's just like such a like it's like
Mhm.
it's a fun interaction, but it's really strong.
I mean, how bad would like making it 6 mana be?
6 mana.
That would be a better nerf, I think.
Like,
Yeah, that works
yeah,
too, I think.
like bad in the sense that like the
I
deck
actually
will still
like that
thrive.
more.
Because I think we talked about last week saying that like +1/+1 might be too much.
if you
Yeah,
make
I
it
get that.
+1/+1, Red Viego's dead.
Where it's like
There's
running
no
it,
reason to play
like,
that deck.
on 6, it kind of works out fine because
Yeah, it's just Nasus now.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
have to have the full 13 mana to do the Astra thing, right?
like 13
which is
mana
nice.
is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can dig that. I dig a 6 mana Deserter.
And it also makes the like 5, 6, 7 turns a bit harder because like on turn 5 you can choose whether you want to drop Viego or Deserter depending on like which one you think you value more, and this restricts that.
Oh, Durant Sculptor should be a 2-1.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
That card's
I'm here for
busted.
that.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
not being able to ping Durant Sculptor. That card provides so much value to Demacia right now.
We need Prodigy here to defend that take.
Yeah.
I love Demacia. Like, I'm a Demacia enjoyer.
No.
And
So,
Durant Sculptor is
I think
busted.
Bard will have like a
Here's
little
my issue. If we nerf Sculptor, we might not hit Broadwing. We gotta hit that guy. we
Broadwing-
gotta take him out.
Broadwing-
He's
Let's
done
not get
enough.
him.
Let's take him out
Broadwing,
back.
though. I don't
He's
know, whatever.
Bird
Just
and
like
Demacia?
kill every
There's a
rally,
one
make them all
bird.
6
I'm
mana.
friends with the one bird now, okay? I haven't been and
He's in Vandal. We go see
Exactly.
the mayor
Bird.
together. We have tea. And then we go visit Paparo. He's great.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh my god.
I think that's going to be the end of our show for today, though. Thank you guys so much for watching through the end. Thank you all for joining us once again. I hope you guys had a good time. We'll hope, I don't know, do we have anything coming up this week to notify our viewers of? Is there any upcoming tournaments or anything like that we should let
I
them know
don't think
about?
there's anything special this week, but the first Sunday after the patch, Master Runeterra should be hosting a GG tour.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think it's
On July 3rd.
yeah. I think it's standard Riot Lock best of 3 type deal on the new patch, but yeah.
Jason
I'm
did
sure we'll
mention
have
a duos
information in the
tournament a
description.
while ago. I don't know if that's the next one or the one
A duo
after.
tournament would be so fun.
That
I
would be
think
fun.
that's also coming before seasonals, Jason mentioned, but I'm sure we'll get more details about that in the future, and we'll let everyone know as we find out.
All right. Anybody else got any shout-outs they want to give before I click the end button? Okay.
Yo,
See you
shout
guys.
out to Akshan. That guy's going infinite.
Bye.
Yeah.